Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
All right, welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do for a living.
Hi, everyone. My name is Elena. I live in Dallas, Texas. And right now I'm an Instagram blogger, lifestyle and fashion Instagram blogger. Before I was an interior designer. So we had a company with my friend for 2 years. But after that, I decided that I want to be a blogger more. So yes, this is what I do now for a living. I'm still learning, but yes, that's my full-time job.
Awesome. So what made you want to make that pivot from interior design to blogging?
Oh, I always loved all this social media stuff, Instagram, and before it was different. Like Facebook, I used less always, but if you remember, it was Periscope, or how to say, I don't know, like another social media.
Periscope, yeah.
Yeah, this one. I liked all this stuff, but I didn't do it, like a job for like full-time job. I just enjoyed it, and my friends and family follow me. I followed them. But this year, I decided to do it like professionally, to monetize it, and I also like interior design. But to be focused on two things, like to do interior design full-time job and to do blogging, it's impossible because you cannot. You have 24 hours per day, right? You cannot do like two jobs. I cannot, at least. So I just decided that I want to be blogger more. I like, I'm very social person, or how to say. Like I like to meet people. I like to talk with people. I like when people get together to organize events and all this stuff. So I decided that it will fit me better.
Awesome. So what happened with your previous business? Did you sell it, or like how did you just like pivot from running that business to doing this?
This business is still running, and we're friends with this girl. So we just, I don't know, separate everything very easy. It was we were working together for 2 years, and then when we decided to do it separate, it was very, easy, simple, and nothing even to say. Yeah, so that business is running, and my new business is starting. So yeah, nothing specific.
So can you talk more about what you're doing now in terms of blogging? I mean, how do you reach people? And I guess what exactly is your target audience?
Yes, I'm still learning, about all this stuff, and I'm watching and listening a lot of podcasts and a lot of bloggers, YouTubers about everything. But what I know now, like it's ideally, it's always you need to always do a research to understand what people like about you. So sometimes I do, these small polls in Instagram when you can ask people what they like about you, why they watch you, what they want to see more. For example, I'm lifestyle blogger. I can show everything all my life. But sometimes I ask them to be more specific, like what they want to see. They want to see more clothes with links, with stores where to buy it, or they want to see just lifestyle, like everyday life, or they want to see, I don't know, something specific, for example, fun reels or something like that. So when they answer me, I like learn what they want to see, and I a little bit do what they want to see more at this time. Yeah, so something like that.
So I guess like as of right now, like what are the answers that you're getting? Like when you're getting feedback from people, like what are they telling you typically that they want to see more of?
I thought that they want to see, all these clothes and links and helpful stuff, but no, actually, most of my followers, they said that they want to see just my everyday life, like what happens now. That's the most interesting, like TV show. When you do something, and I don't know, you go to a grocery store, or you buy something, or you travel, you're driving somewhere, or you go to the nightclub, like all what happens in your life. That's the most interesting for my audience. So that's what I
No,
usually, mostly, yeah.
that's true. And I think it's not just your audience. I think it's just people in general, right? Everybody wants to see like, oh, like what are people doing? And it's something that's become like a very big thing in 2023. It's not just like you don't want to seem salesy per se. You want to just make it seem like they already know you without actually knowing you, if that makes sense.
Yes, and it's not easy how to say, like to make people love you, not love you, but trust you, and to show them something interesting. Because at first you think that it's very easy. I will show everything and everybody will love me. But no, I mean, you should be a like very real person. If you try to be better than you are, people don't like it and they unfollow. Yeah, it's better to be just yourself, and then people really like to watch like all this stuff.
Awesome. So when it comes to monetizing this, what does that look like for you?
The most, like, there are many ways how bloggers can monetize their blog, but I think the biggest part is for sure collaborating with brands, at least for a lifestyle blogger. Because if you're an expert in something, for example, you're a psychologist or somebody, and you can sell your service, your expertise, then it's a little bit different. But if you're a lifestyle blogger and you show everything about everything, mostly it's collaboration with brands and with another bloggers. So it's branded content. I use something, I show it, I do reels, I do posts, I do stories, and brands pay me for that. And of course, it should be a very natural too. So you should choose the brands that you really love and you really use in your life. Because if you will do just advertisement for brands that you don't use, people feel it and they will not. It will be not so interesting. So yes, collaboration with brands, it's the biggest part of the monetizing brand. Also affiliate programs, like it's again about all the stuff that I use in my life: clothes, makeup, skincare, wellness, anything. Even apps, for example, if I use some apps on my phone, I can promote this brand, this company, and if people use it or buy it or subscribe to it, I get a commission. So it's another part. Also, I don't know, it's many ways. Sometimes it's even if you go to event and you're a famous blogger, it's not me yet. But if you're a blogger with bigger audience, brands can pay you to attend their events, for example. So you sign contract, they pay you for reels, posts, and stories. They pay you for presence on the events, and yeah, that's another way how you can. And of course, you can, as a blogger, you can sell your own courses or your own, how to say, service or expertise. Like
Yeah. Like consulting, sort of.
yes, yes. Thank you.
That makes sense. So in terms of, like you mentioned, obviously that, and I agree, it's very important, right? When you're promoting products, actually products that you love and that you're using, and that totally makes sense. But how do you have this kind of crossover between, like, okay, like you find a product that you like, and then do you reach out to the brand and say, hey, should I promote it? Like, what do those conversations look like?
Yeah, it depends. Especially it depends on if you're just starting as a blogger or you're more famous and popular blogger. When you just start, of course, everything starts from pitching the brands all day long. You choose the brands that you want to work with, and you start to send them email, direct messages to the Instagram. You try to reach them out. And of course, the most difficult part is to find the right contact, because usually you need to find it's not just, hello@brandname.com. You need to find right contact to pitch. And of course, at first, not many brands and companies answer to you. Wait, and they don't answer, and you're a little bit sad about that. But after some time, like for example, first brand answered you, and you collaborate with them. And with some time, it's more and more and more brands. And then the time comes when they start to pitch you, like they start to try to reach you. I like this time. So yes, at first you need to reach brands. And then
100%.
yes, and I also have my website, for example, and I do SEO, right? It's called SEO optimization.
Yeah.
Like that, all my pictures and everything, it all has information about me. So for example, if one brand will Google search, if they want to find, for example, lifestyle blogger in Dallas, they will come to my page. So this is also important, I think, to have website. Not for everybody, but it helps with collaborating with brands. Yeah.
100%.
Yes, there are another, how's it called? Like Instagram marketing platform or affiliate program platform, something like that. It's platform where brands and bloggers can find each other. So you sign up as a blogger and brand sign up as a brand, and you just like find each other. You can
Awesome.
apply for their campaign, and they can see all the information about you because it's all connected. Your Instagram account, your statistic, everything is connected, so they can easy find you, and you can easy find their campaign. So that's how
That's
it works.
cool. So in terms of, like you mentioned, obviously, like I'm in Dallas too, but in terms of, the people, or I guess the brands that you're working with, are many of them local? Do you work with like local brands and local companies here in Dallas, or is it just anybody anywhere? And it's like to your, kind of what you mentioned earlier, is it people that are like, I just want to target people in Dallas?
For now, mostly it's like US, how to say, countrywide. Like it's from all the states. It's not local.
Right.
But
Nationwide people. Yeah.
thank you. Yes, for now it's all the brands and it doesn't matter. But sometimes, for example, Walmart has their campaign and it's called the neighborhood local market or something like that. So they specifically find the people local area, for example, in Dallas, because they connect small businesses with people and they need bloggers to show about local services. But it's not a lot. Usually it's all the brands are nationwide.
That's awesome. So in terms of, technology, I was just curious, like, what does that look like for you? Obviously, now it's the time of AI and artificial intelligence. So, do you feel like that's going to help you reach more people, or like, help your business at all in the coming years?
Yes, for me, I'm a very, very big technology, what's it called, lover.
Yeah.
I love all the technologies, devices, and all this stuff. And I love artificial intelligence. I use it a lot, and I know that some people think that it's maybe can be dangerous because it can replace humans and all this stuff. But I don't know. I think we just need to know how to use it, and we need to use it in a good way, and then it helps. And like I heard one time that there will be no other companies but company who use artificial intelligence and who died, and that's it. So I agree. I think very soon everybody will use it. And yes, I use it for writing my post descriptions. For example, I can explain what I want to say, especially in English. I need help with English. So I can tell ChatGPT approximately what I want to say, and it helps me to organize my description. So yes, I like it. And all this mid journey, how to say,
Mid journey. Yep.
yeah, this thing that create some pictures for you. I don't use it a lot because I don't like their interface. It's still not friendly. But I think soon they maybe will change something. I think it's great, that this AI can help you with all this stuff.
No, for sure. I mean, I think AI is, to your point, it's big when it comes to content writing and things like that. But do you see use cases, for example, like, oh, I don't know, maybe if somebody wanted to like replicate your content and you have like the intellectual property and they could, make some edits, and that way it's like you don't even have to record a video. They could just take some pieces of different content and then you could be talking about like a totally different product, for example.
Yeah, you mean, I just didn't understand. You mean that somebody can copy for example, I did something and somebody can use AI to copy my content? That's what you
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, it's like, but it's you own the intellectual property. So it's like you don't even have to record the video, right? It's like they could just take like snippets of different videos of like you may be saying something or something like that, for example.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
No, it's just interesting to see kind of like what's possible. So I guess I was just curious, like you mentioned earlier that, ChatGPT can help you with English. So can you talk more about like, what your first language is and like where where you're from originally?
Yeah, for sure. I'm from Moscow, from Russia, and then we moved to like our family moved to Italy. So we lived in Italy also, Modena. It's small town close to Bologna and Milan, like northern part. But of course, I didn't speak Italian so good. I studied it, but my first language, of course, Russian. So we talk at home Russian, and my kids speak Russian. And for me, we live here for almost 7 years. In October will be 7 years. But Of course, now I can speak, I think good. It's not like it was before, but still, it's not my first language, and it's still sometimes difficult to understand or to say what I want to say. And especially, all the jokes and all this stuff. Like, I cannot feel it that good how I can say it in Russian. Some jokes, or some fun stories or something.
No, for sure.
I'm working on it.
I think it's something. Yeah, it's definitely something like that'll take time. It's funny because, like, for example, like my parents are from Belarus,
Oh,
so for me, like, yeah, like I was born in America, but like when I was really young, I spoke Russian really well, but now like I don't speak it as well. So for me, it's kind of like I feel kind of the same way probably like when you're speaking English, like my Russian is not that good, and I can understand it, but it's just it's something that's more difficult for me because like I don't really speak it, I don't practice it, and I think it's like when you're every day living in a country and you're able to communicate with people in English, you go to the store, you're like, making content. Over time, it gets better if you're just using it day to day and communicating with people. Like when you're not using like a language, you're not practicing it, it makes it so much more difficult.
but have you ever learned it or no? Like any class, Russian class?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
Like when I was younger, I spoke it fluently. Like when I was a kid, I still understand it well, but I can't really speak it that well. Like I can maybe some like brief conversational
Oh,
Russian. When I call like my grandma, but like I don't speak it as well as I used to now.
until what age you could speak? Like my oldest son is 11, and I'm curious if he will keep his Russian. Until what age you could speak Russian? You remember, no?
I mean, I would still say I speak it now. It's just not as
Not.
well. I think also like, yeah, it's like all my friends are American or like that they grew up here. So it's like, everywhere I go, it's, and now like I'm originally from Chicago. I've been in Dallas for about 3 years, but it's like all my friends in Dallas 100% are American. I have some friends that are like same background as me from Chicago, but it's like, you know, I mean, they even if they were born like in a different country, when like my best friend was born like in Ukraine, but he's lived in the U.S. for since he was like 6 years old. So it's like, of
Oh,
course, like he speaks, but we just speak in English. It's just easier for us.
yes, of course. I understand you. But and you never been in Belarus, right? Belarus.
No, I think Bella. No, I haven't. I don't have. The thing is, for me, it's like I don't have any family there anymore, right? So for me, it's like, and my parents that they left in '91 and they haven't been back. So, they, I don't know. Especially now, you can't really go back even if you wanted to. It's a bit difficult. So.
Yeah, yeah. We after the pandemic, we don't go to Russia too, so we have not been there since 2019. It's 4 years already. Maybe one day, not now, obviously. Maybe one day we will go to Russia to visit because all our families, parents, brothers, sisters, all in Russia, like there in Moscow.
That's
So
awesome. So in
yeah.
terms of your content, I'm just curious, right? So obviously you speak Russian. So, are you like targeting people like that are Russian speaking? Are you, as I saw like some posts in Russian, like who exactly are you doing kind of both? Like, just kind of testing like the waters, like what does that look like for the future of your content? Because obviously in America and Dallas in general, there's plenty of Russian speaking people. So, what are you looking for in terms of like how you're gonna grow your content?
Yeah, I'm like my targeted audience, right? It's not only Russian speaking people. I don't want to stuck, in our Russian speaking community because that's what happens usually when you come and you have a lot of Russian speaking friends and there are more and more, and you can stuck and you will never speak English and you will never have English speaking like friends or like anybody. That's what I don't want. And I decided to do since day one, like when I started to do my Instagram professionally in this January, I decided that I will do it in English, and it was not easy for me because even to be in the stories and to talk even in your own language, it's not easy because you're trying to, to say something for everybody. It's not easy, but to do it in different language in English, it was even more difficult. But I decided that I will better do it now, and after some time it will be easier. But at the end, I can talk with everybody. I can have followers with all the languages because we have a lot of friends. They are not from the US, but they're also, we talk English with them from Venezuela, Panama, a lot of countries. So I wanted that all of them can understand me when I do my posts, reels, and my stories. So I know that my English is not good. I know about my accent, about everything, but I decided to do it in English, yes, for everybody. So yeah.
That's awesome. And I think that's smart. It's funny because we had an interview a couple months ago. We interviewed somebody, I don't know if you know, Michael Uspensky. He owns the DFW Banya, and he said that when he bought it, yeah, and then when he bought the company, that he actually pivoted and everybody was speaking Russian, but he pivoted to the whole business only speaking in English because he really wanted to attract everybody. He didn't want to be people to feel like they're excluded. So like, he speaks Russian, but like, everybody there is like only in English because he wants everybody to feel welcome.
We talked with him about that, yes. I mean, a long time ago when he just started this Russian wine business. And that's exactly how I feel it. Because he said that if he will be focusing on Russian speaking people, he will, how to say, not eliminate.
Yeah,
I mean,
like exclude lots of people.
yes, exclude a lot of people, and he doesn't want to build his business like that. Exactly like me. Like, for example, now I am organizing an event for women, and this time it's my first event. It will be in Russian, but it's only because it's more comfortable for me for the first time. But ideally, all my next events I want to do in English because, again, it's the same. I don't want to do it only for our Russian-speaking community. And most of them, they will speak English, so it doesn't matter if event will be in English, right? My Russian-speaking friends can understand it, and all other people can come, and everybody will understand each other. So I think it's great, yes, to do it for all the languages.
No, it's funny because like our team for my companies, mostly in Pakistan. And I'll tell them the same thing that I'll tell you is that like your English is actually really good, So it's like I always tell them like just be confident, like don't overthink. And I think it's the more if you're confident and the more you speak it over time, and it's like, and they're not even like in America, but they're talking to me every day. And at first, oh no, I don't want to call you. I don't. I'm like, English is fine. You can call me, But it's just over time, it's just practicing. I think it's like it's something, especially obviously when you live in America, it's so much easier. But I think, like, I mean, your English is great, so just be
Yeah.
confident and keep it up.
Yeah, thank you, but I understand these people who like, for example, when we just moved 7 years ago, and we met with our first, I don't know, not even friends, with people with whom we met at first, and they said, "Oh, your English will be fine. Just do more practice, more talking with people." And I was sitting with them at Starbucks, and I thought, like, how I will talk, how I can do more practice if I don't even understand. I don't know. Like, it's very scary, to meet with people when you don't understand anything. Now it's easier to say, yeah, you need just to do more practice, you need to speak more.
No,
But
100%. Yeah.
yeah,
No, like our team speaks English. I mean, in Pakistan, everybody's learning it, so
Mhm.
they speak it. It's just different, right? It's different when you know the language and you're speaking and you just learn it in school as opposed to actually you're talking to like a native speaker in America. So it's a different mind and like a different level of confidence.
Yeah, that's that's true. Yeah.
Awesome. So, like, if somebody watching this wanted to reach out to you, if they wanted to work with you on a partnership, do you mind sharing your website or just best way to get in contact with you?
The best way, yes, my website or my Instagram, it's Elena, ELENA underscore FT, like first letters of my last name, and underscore USA. It's the best way to message me, to DM me. Or my website is the same, www.elenaftusa.com. Yes, and all the information, all the contacts on my website and in my Instagram. So I would be happy, yes, to collaborate, to meet with other bloggers, and other women who need, who also want to meet, to socialize, how to say,
Socialize, yeah. Socialize, network, yeah.
Yes, and like about networking, about businesses, about everything. And I invite everybody to my event, actually. It will be on September 30th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. in Fairmont Hotel Dallas in downtown. We will have a white dress code, so it will be a really nice event. So everybody who wants to come, please come.
That's great. Awesome. Well, we're rooting for you, Elena. Hopefully, you have a great event. and hopefully, your business keeps growing. And thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Thanks. All right. Bye.
Yeah, bye. Have a good day. Bye bye.